Welcome one and all back to the channel. It is day 2 of Discmas. Today, a little bit of a comparison between a new mold and a popular mold that you may not have heard of. Let's get into it. When it comes to approach disc in disc golf, most people automatically think of one disc, and with good reason. If you've thrown the zone, you know.
This is probably one of my all-time favorite discs.
Easily the most popular approach disc on the market, and that is a Discraft Zone.
The disc golf industry had nothing like the Zone. The Zone suddenly created shots that players simply couldn't throw before.
It's one of the most popular approach discs ever made, and recently, Discraft made a straighter version, the Zone SS. But I wanted to test whether the Zone SS is the best fit for that straighter approach disc. And I think I've got a contender that matches up very well against it. So what is this disc I'm talking about? If you've ever thrown Infinite discs or are on Team Infinite, you already know. Part of an exclusive list, even has its own gang. I'm talking about the Tomb. Hashtag Tomb Gang is a real thing. People that have thrown the Tomb love it, swear by it. It is a straight flying, low profile approach disc similar to the Zone SS. And although the numbers don't match exactly, I think the flights will prove to be very similar. Now, I'm not trying to be biased here. I have thrown both the Tomb and the Zone SS. This particular Tomb has been in my bag for several years, but recently while trying the Zone SS, I really enjoyed it. In fact, I got an ace with it not that long ago. So let's take a look at the two. There are definitely some differences in the profile of this one. The Tomb may be just a touch more shallow than the Zone SS, and I think the Zone SS gets a little bit of flip. The numbers, of course, being 4-4, -1-2 versus the Tomb. Both close. I think they're going to match up well. So I'm going to throw a couple in the field, get warmed up here, and then we're going to go out to Heritage Pines, play a couple of holes and a couple of approach scenarios to see if the Tomb holds up well against the Zone SS. And maybe, if neither of these two discs have made your bag, this will convince you to try one or both. Let's get into it. We'll go get warmed up. So that means it's time to fling some Frisbees. Turn. So the Tomb is one of Infinite's most popular approach discs. It comes in multiple plastics. I have it in a glow C line, which is like Champion plastic. I've got a swirly S line, which is their Star plastic. I have it in a D blend, which is like their DX version. And I have a concrete version. And in the different plastics, they have just a tiny bit of variance. So there are people that will bag multiple Tombs in different plastics for that reason. Similar to what you would see people bagging multiple zones. Hole 2 is a perfect starting hole for this particular challenge. 220 feet currently in the short left-hand position. You've got the main gap up the middle here, and then it breaks slightly over to the left. Just need a subtle fade to get you there. I will say that the Zone SS has a slight advantage on this particular hole because this was the hole that I just aced about a month ago with the Zone SS. So I'm going to throw the Zone first, followed by the Tomb. Ooh, that was too straight. That Zone was too SS for that shot. That's too far. Neither one of those were great. Let's try the swirly star. That's the line you want. That's fantastic. Let's try these again. That's much better. Skip in. Oh, that looked really good. Whew, man, that's such a good flight. Well, the swirly S Tomb is the closest by far. It is absolutely parked in the bullseye. Right there. Zone SS, Tomb, a couple of birdies for all the discs. Let's move on to another one. Hole 5 is an aceable straight shot with some fade, 205 feet. Tight gap, you want to go just left of this center tree and then have your disc fade in just before or after that last late guardian. I think this time we'll start with the tomb. Step 1, just hit this gap. Oh my, that got clotheslined so bad.
Did you hear the impact of that?
Needless to say, that is not the gap you want, but you can sometimes get lucky. That looks very ideal. Go in. Goodness, a little higher. I'm going to throw the swirly S tomb. I only have the one Zone SS, so I can't throw multiple of those. It's not like this has any type of advantage because it's kind of new to me. Very similar flight, just hit that last guardian, but that's still 15 feet. They're similar flights, guys. I think approach discs, kind of like putters, really comes down to comfort and which one gives you more confidence when you grab the disc. I feel great throwing both of those molds, and the flights are similar enough where I think they're interchangeable. So if I lose one, I could go to the other type of mold. So if I lose a tomb and I want to try Zone SS, I don't feel like there's a big learning curve there between the two. They're both so close. It really is just a matter of feel. So unfortunately, this one ended up in a pretty bad spot, but there is a straight little forehand flick line at it. Last year, I was throwing the Suspect from Dynamic Disc when I was on Team DD, and that was a very similar flight to these molds as well. Yep, that is a putt. You can see there that tomb is just pretty much straight on the forehand. Had a very subtle amount of finish, but if you throw it any harder, I don't believe that disc will really finish. It'll just finish straight. And just for clarity, when I say finish, I'm talking about the fade of the disc. There's not a lot of fade. So really any of these discs. Swirly S gets the bird. C blend will not. Well, besides that first really horrendous missed line, those were all very good results. Now, while I don't love either of these discs, the Zone SS or the Tomb, for just a kind of power flick more than like 200 feet, what I have been using the Zone SS for are shots like this, about 150, 170 feet, where you've got to throw a little subtle angle on the forehand and then just kind of let it pan out, or have a little bit of fade at the end and get you close to the pin for birdie. Let's see if I can get these two molds to mimic the flight I'm talking about here.
Did you hear the impact of that?
Let's go Tomb a little lower. I think the amount of angle on that and the speed was perfect though. That's better. Shots like that. Touchy little turnover approaches at low speed where it's going to have just enough time to fight back out and put you on the green. I think shots like that are where these type of approach discs excel, because they're not going to finish too hard where they're going to get you into trouble left or right. They have relatively neutral flights. So when you give them a little bit of angle, they fight back over naturally to flat and then just kind of fall. Yeah, both of these really good results. Maybe the Zone SS works as a putter too. A shot like this on hole 7 is also where I think this type of disc would shine. 150 feet or so, just a straight-ish shot with a little bit of fade on a forehand here. Don't have to worry about yanking over on it in order to get it to finish back over because they're so stable. Just a pretty straight shot at it. It can get you there, maybe a little wider. There's the Tomb. Yeah, those are all putts. I would take those every day of the week. Well, I thought the second tomb was parked. Turns out both of them are parked. Zone SS. Absolute drop-ins. They're both good discs. This is another good one for both of these discs. Hole 9 from the shorts, 215 feet. You have this right tunnel, and then you have this kind of sneaky inside line as well. Forehand flex here works really well with a more stable disc, I think, than either of these two, but we can try it with one of them. C-blend tomb first on the backhand. That's just outside the bullseye. Ooh, that's pushing a little much. Oh man, I threw it a touch too wide and it just didn't have the stability to kind of fight and skirt back over. All right, let's try this flex line, but we're gonna try with a regular zone just to kind of give you an idea of the stability difference. We just threw this kind of baby flex a couple holes ago, and you saw how both the Zone SS and the Tomb just kind of fought back to flat. Where the regular zone, this beautiful page shoe regular zone, I'm gonna have to put on a little more angle and it should still fight back over. Oh gosh, I didn't throw that nearly hard enough. And there you see just how much more stable that version is versus the Zone SS or the Tomb. The regular zone has a lot more bite at the end, even though I threw that. Now, I threw it a bit nose up and didn't quite commit to the pop because I've been throwing these other discs, but you can see there, you have to commit to throwing much harder and on more angle with the regular zone than you would with some of these other discs that just kind of get you that easier flight. That was one of the worst shots I've thrown in a while. I don't know if I want to show that to the people. We all throw bad shots. Don't act like you don't. If you're a disc golfer, you already know bad shots are a part of the game. And if you're not throwing bad shots, then you should be on the Pro Tour winning everything. Well, Zone SS unfortunately hit this tree here as I just didn't get it on enough angle. So it flew two super straight once again. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's circle 3. I know this video is about the Zone SS and the Tomb, but man, this new Praxis that I've been putting with has been phenomenal. I don't ever make 70 footers like that. Hopefully I didn't just big putt myself here. Nah, we're good. Well, I didn't expect to get 2 birdies after those 2 throws. I think we're gonna wrap things up here on hole 11 from the shorts, 205 feet. There's a forehand line where you want to throw something flat and just get a little bit of fade at the end. And there's a hyzer line up the right side, crashing back over. The right side requires quite a bit of finish though. And I'm normally throwing either a zone or, what is that thing called? What is that thing called? Jeremy Colling loves it. Oh my gosh. I think Silvasarian throws it. I know Jennifer Smiley throws it because I bought 2 of hers. Oh man, it's flat. It's an approach disc. It flies great. It's stable, but not too stable. I just did a renaissance of the bag with it earlier this year, talking about how much I enjoyed it. The tempo. The tempo, you guys probably got it before I did. The tempo. That's what I'll normally throw because I want a little bit more fade, but low-key, I've had a couple like really nice ace runs at this, and I'd love to bag a forehand ace, which I've never done. Fade a little. Golly, that's so straight. That's what that SS stands for. So straight. And we'll go Tomb, Glow, C-blend. Oh, that one finished more. And we'll throw the swirly S line on the backhand here and just give it a little more angle so that it finishes more to the left. Big skip. Yeah, inside of 20. Well, no surprise. All three of these approach discs from about 200 feet are great. This one faded a touch more than I thought it would have. It's kind of the first time it's surprised me today. Swirly S-blend inside of 15 feet. And the Zone SS in the bullseye. We'll do one last one, because there's a straight shot, a really, really straight shot coming up that I love throwing. Hole 12, we have this beautiful sunlight beaming through. It's just such a great hole from the longs or the shorts. From the shorts, it's 220. From the longs, about 320. This is such a fun shot. We're going to try maybe just a baby flex on the backhand. Oh, I didn't turn it enough. So that C-blend does have just a little bit of late stability, which is what the Zone SS does. Let's try the other tune. Oh, that's really good. Lastly, the Zone SS. Didn't turn that one enough either. But they're all down there in the circle. So I wouldn't say it's super straight, but it is so straight. Three pretty solid results, all inside of the circle. C-blend glow is the furthest out, about 28. So easy. S-blend tomb. So easy. Man, this happened during the tournament, I'd be pretty upset. Put yourself in position, you can't get the birdie. There we go. Third time's a charm. That's going to wrap it up, guys, for my review of the Zone SS and the Tomb. Both are phenomenal molds. Both give you very, very similar flights. So it'll really come down to the preference of the hand feel and the comfort that you have with either one of the molds. If you're throwing something different in that slot, let me know what you got in that slot. I want to try the Chicane, I believe it is, by Drew Gibson's line. I haven't had a chance to try that one yet. And if you're already bagging the Zone SS or the Tomb, let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. I enjoy both. I've thrown the Tomb for so long, and after throwing them both again today, I remember why I loved it so much. But for now, I'm rocking with the Zone SS. Again, if you guys want to get your hands on some of these particular molds, head on over to infinitedisc.com. Check out their selection of over 80,000 discs. I'm sure they'll have something in stock that will fit your game. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button and get out there and fling some Frisbees. See you on the next one.